Today we're talking about the 5 basic principles in the Pilates repertoire. Now these 5 principles work simultaneously together to create body awareness and relaxation. That way, when we perform each exercise, we're doing it with precision and control. The first one is the breathing pattern. This is the foundation of the Pilates repertoire because the breathing incorporates the diaphragm, the lungs, the rib cage, and all the core musculature. So it's so important that we add the breathing technique to each exercise. So what you want to do to enhance your breathing pattern is start with your hands on the ribs and take a long, slow inhale through the nose. And we like to encourage a forceful exhalation out the mouth. It sounds like you're blowing out through a straw. Now when I do that, you'll notice my abdominals flatten and they contract and they're starting to work and keep my body in control. Let's try that again. Inhale through the nose. Notice my rib cage expands, but it doesn't pop up. All right, and then on the exhale, my abdomen flattens. Good, let me show you another popular way to promote that breathing pattern. I'm going to fold over the arc barrel. Now pay attention to my ribs. They're going to fill with air. Here goes my inhale. And an exhale. Good, one more time. Watch my rib cage expand and taking a deep breath. This also helps to create some relaxation in the upper traps. Inhale. And an exhale. That's very refreshing. The second principle is the pelvic placement. Now we're talking about the hip bones and your lumbar spine, the lower back. In connection, we have 2 positions. We have a neutral spine where the natural curve of my spine is present, and you can see a little curve underneath my lower back. That's my natural body. And I'm nice and flat here through the pelvic bone. This is neutral. And then when we do exercises, we want to have control, so we do an imprint. That's where we tilt the pelvis, take the bend out of the lower back, and now my lower back is pressed into the mat. And I can be nice and stable here. Whenever we bring our legs up into tabletop position, you want to have that imprint. Now I'm nice and stable. And then we can add this to the breathing with an inhale and an exhale. The third principle is the rib cage placement. So here, the hands are on the ribs again. When we're doing our exercises, we want to keep the ribs pulled in. We want to avoid popping of the ribs, which looks like this. The ribs are popped out, my muscles are elongated, and they're not contracting. So to contract those abdominals and pull the ribs in, we look like this. All right, ribs in. We like to use imagery, so a lot of times my favorite one is zip up a tight jacket. We're going to pull the ribs in. Another way to feel that connection is to lie on your back. When your arms come up, this is where you want to keep that contraction through the abdominals without the ribs popping up. So this would be the correct position here. And then the incorrect position would be here. So notice I have lost my imprint and now my ribs are popped up. Be sure you avoid this position. It'll start to hurt your lower back after a while if you do the exercises like this. So use proper form and technique. Do the imprint, pull the ribs together, and breathe. Principle number for scapula stabilization. What is the scapula? Those are the bones, or what we call shoulder blades, that float on your back right over the backside of your ribs. Now they move a lot. They are hypermobile. They slide up and down. They roll forward. They can go back. So during your Pilates exercises, it's very important to stabilize your scapula. And that will help avoid tension in the upper neck and shoulders. So a proper shoulder stabilization looks like this. I'm going to slide them down my back. Now, an improper way to do this is having them slide up. As you can tell, this creates a lot of tension right here. We want to avoid that. So stabilize your scapula down the back. Now remember, the scapula moves a lot. So I'm going to show you some movements. Forward and back. We also can move up and down and around. Let me give you another view. All right, my shoulder blades are stabilizing down the back, and then they can move up and down, forward and back and around. When we're doing the Pilates exercises, and your instructor will say, be sure to stabilize your scapula down the back, it looks like this. I'm sliding them down right here, and then I lift up and then back down to perform the exercises. Now the incorrect way is sliding those shoulders up by your ears, and I look all crunched up right here, and that doesn't feel good, right? Oh, that's just causing me a lot of pain. So remember, putting all those Pilates principles together will create a very effective and safe workout. The last principle we're going to talk about is the head and neck placement. So we're talking about the cervical spine. And we want to keep it in alignment with the rest of our spine so that, again, we avoid tension in the upper neck and shoulders. All right, so the proper placement for your head and neck is in neutral. All right, so if you notice, my ears are right over my shoulders. What we want to avoid is jamming the chin into the chest, like this. That causes some strain on my neck. Be sure to avoid that. Another one is pushing the chin too far forward. That also doesn't feel good. So if you can imagine an orange placed underneath your chin while you're doing the exercises, you're going to feel really good. I'll show you an example. I'm going to slide my shoulder blades down my back. I've got my pelvis in neutral, rib cage pulled in, scapula stabilized, and my head and neck are in alignment, and I'll take an inhale and exhale, rise up. So you notice my head just follows the rest of my spine when I contract right here. Exhale and then inhale. So remember what to avoid: jamming the chin into the chest and being crunched in this position, because it doesn't feel good. All right, so lengthen the neck. Place your orange underneath the chin and begin your exercises. All right, so if you can put all 5 principles together, you're going to have a safe and effective workout.